Welcome back to the next session on engineering graphics. In the last lesson, last class, you people have come across a few of the problems purely on pyramids. In the first session, I completed the introduction part, and in the second session, few problems on square pyramid, and in third session, I have one problem on pentagonal pyramid. In today's session, let us learn about how to construct the hexagonal pyramid based on edge condition. Okay, whatever the problems they will going to give in any of the cases, whether it is resting on edge condition or whether it is resting on axis condition, the only parameter they will going to change is about they will going to change it's whether it is in a shape of the object, whether it is square, pentagon or hexagon. Now in today's lesson, I have written the question on hexagonal pyramid. First I am going to read the question. A hexagonal pyramid 25 mm sides of base and 50 mm axis length rests on HP on one of its edges of the base, which is inclined to VP at 30 degree. Means this problem is purely on edge condition problem. Means they are clearly given hexagonal pyramid of 25 mm sides of base and 50 mm axis length rest on HP on one of its edges of the base. Means in the problem they clearly given that it is resting on one of its edge on the horizontal plane. Means this problem purely will be on edge condition. That edge is get inclined to VP at 30 degree. Means this case will be proved at the last position. Means this is the inclination they given with reference to the last position. Till here, first I will going to construct the problem. First I will go for drawing the name axis line. I am drawing the axis line. VP by HP indications are necessarily required to show the planes. Now hexagonal pyramid 25 mm sides of base. You people have already come across how to construct the hexagonal lamina in your planes chapter. In the first position you people know about it, how to construct it based on edge condition. I am not explaining how to construct the hexagonal lamina here. I am just writing the hexagonal lamina structure directly because you people already know about it. With the lines, we can use the line command or the line. By drawing the lines, you can also construct the hexagonal lamina. And one more, by drawing the circle of given side dimension, you also can draw the hexagonal lamina. That is also possible. I am writing it directly now. Of sides 25 mm. Now it is in a pyramid. I am drawing the diagonals. In the top view, the hexagonal pyramid slant edges are clearly visible for us. Next, I will go for showing the dimension of it. It is exactly 25 mm they given. Now I will go for naming the corners. I am going to call these corners A, B, C, D, E and F. 6 corners were there, and also axis is there. O to O1 is the axis. Now I will go for constructing the front view of the object. Now we will go for drawing the projection lines. Now here they given the axis of length of 50 mm. Now in the front view, the slant edges that are connected from the base to the apex point O to A, O to B and O to C are clearly visible for us. In the front view, O to A, O to B and O to C is clearly visible for us. These O to B, these slant edges is overlapping the other edges which are opposite to them. When it's come to O to B is the slant edge which is overlapping the axis O to O1 and also from O to E. Based on that, I am going to construct a visible line. I am constructing the visible line of length 50 mm Next, I will go for joining the remaining slant edge. The base is clearly visible for us. I am going to call this as A dash to E dash and this point as C dash to D dash. This is the first position of the object by drawing its top view and also its front view. Next, they are given that in the last sentence, draw the projections of the pyramid when the axis is inclined to HP at 45 degree. Here in the second position, the axis inclination they given. In the last position, the edge inclination they given. Based on that, the axis is inclined at an angle of 45 degree. First, I will go for drawing the base inclination. Next, I will go for drawing the axis inclination. Based on that, here the axis is present over here, but the visible edge is overlapping the axis, but this axis to the base it is get inclined at an angle of, or if I measure the angle, it will going to get exactly 90 degree because it is in a vertical line without any deflections. If I measure it, I am going to get an angle of 90 degree. Based on that concept, the given the axis inclination is about 45 degree, but here we know that it is get inclined to the base at an angle of 90 degree. Now I am going to minus that or subtract that given angle with this 90 degree angle. 90 minus 45, again we are going to get 45 degree. Based on that, first I am going to draw in a base at an angle of 45 degree. I am drawing the base at an angle of 45 degree. Now I am showing the angle for it. 45 degree. This is C dash comma D dash. This is A dash comma E dash. Next, if I measure it by the from C dash to B dash, it will going to meet exactly at the center. Again, I will going to name it as B dash to E dash. Next, O dash to O1 dash. Next, I will measure the slant edge A dash to O dash or from O dash to C dash, whichever may be the slant edge. I will come to A dash points. After the given after measuring with the compass, I am going to cut the R from A dash to the O dash, and one more arc from C dash to O dash. Now I will go for joining this. Again I am going to join this slant edge. Next thing is about, from here I have already marked the point exactly at the midway of the base. This is the point where the axis I am going to draw. If I measure it, now it is exactly 45 degree. Okay. Now according to them, the axis is get inclined at an angle of 40 degree with reference to the horizontal plane. Next I will go for drawing the projection lines from the front view to the top view. This is E point. I am extend this line to the downward direction. Next I will go for drawing one more line from the B point. This is B. After completion of front view, I am going for drawing the projection lines from the top view. I am drawing with a thin line. I am extending that thin line here. This is D, this is C. Now I will go for drawing the O dash point. From there I am drawing the projection line. Again from the axis I am drawing the projection line. This is O1 point. Next here the axis is clearly visible for me. I am drawing the chain line. This is O. Next I will go for applying the visible and invisible concept. Based on that, the first condition is the outermost edges are visible. From according to it, I will going to start from E to F, F to A, next A to B, then from O to B, and next is about O to E. This is my outermost edge. Is about the faces and edges near to the observer is clearly visible. According to it, A dash to O dash, A dash to F dash is clearly visible for us. Based on that, I am connecting here from O to F, A to O, means outermost faces and edges near to the observer is clearly visible for us. According to O dash to A dash, O dash to F dash is clearly visible for us. I have written that. Next, from A dash to F dash clearly visible, that I have written. From A dash to B dash I have written. From A dash to E dash is clearly visible. Next I will go for the second concept, that is nothing but last concept, that is nothing but above the axis is visible. According to it, if I measured, if I draw the projection line, if I draw the visible lines above the axis, means O dash to B dash, O dash to E dash, and O dash to A dash, O dash to F dash is above the axis. They are already clearly visible, and remaining part is the invisible edges. Remaining part is the invisible edges. This is my second position of the object in the top view. To get the last position, here the resting edge is C to D. C to D is the resting edge. That is clearly clearly we know that, because after after incline the object towards right, whatever the angle they given, 45 degree they are given, based on that it is CD is the base edge that is clearly resting on HP. Based on that, the resting inclination with VP they are given at an angle of 30 degree. Now I'll go for drawing an inclined line, a thin inclined line at an angle of 30 degree. Now I'll come to C to D point. If I C to D point, the resting edge, that is the C to D point is the resting edge. Even if I measure it from the first position of the object, the true length will going to remain same for the remaining portion of the object. The true length will going to remain same. That is nothing but C to D true length for the first position, and also for the second position the true length will remain same. Based on that, I'll measure C to D length. I'll mark that C to D line over here. Edge length over here, C to D. This is C point, this is D point. Next, I need to get the remaining portion of the points, that is nothing but the corners and the edges. For that, first I will going to find out the axis. I will going to measure it from D to O or from O to C. I will put an arc over here. Again one more arc. This is my O point. Next I will go for joining this. Next I require the remaining corners, that is nothing but E, F, A, B. To get that, I will measure from D to E or from C to B. One time measurement is enough. I will measure from D to E. After measuring from D to E, I am going to cut an arc. I am going to cut an arc for D to E towards this side. Again for F to C to B towards this side, to the downward direction. Next I am going to measure from C to E or from D to B, whichever may be the measurement. If I will measure from C to B, I am going to intersect this arc. Again from D, I am going to intersect this arc. Next I will go for joining the lines. Next, this is my E point, this is the B point. Next I will go for joining it from here till E point, again from here to here. Next, to get the F and A, now it is very easy for us. I will measure it from F to E or from A to B. Again I will going to cut an arc over here and one arc from B side. Next I will measure it from O to F or O to A. I will intersect this arc. This is my F point, this is my A point. Next I'll go for the visible edges, whatever I have already written. Next, to get the O1 axis, I'll measure from F to O1 or from A to O1. From F to O1, I am intersecting the arc. Next, from O to O1, one more arc, I will going to intersect it. Next, I will go for joining the axis. This is O1 point. Okay, now in the last position, the base edge, that is nothing but the resting edge, is get inclined at an angle of 30 degree. Now I need to construct the last position in the front view. For that, I will go for drawing the projection lines from all the corners. From E point, I am drawing the projection line. Again from here, from the front view, second position, I am drawing the projection line. Again from F point, I am drawing the projection line. This is E dash, this is F dash. Again from D point, I am extending this line. Again from A point, this is D dash. Again from C point, I am extending the projection line. C is exactly here. Again from B point, I am extending the projection line. This is B dash. Now one more is left, that is about the axis. I am extending this axis. This is O dash point. Now I will go for applying the visible and invisible concept. According to it, first for the easy purpose, I will going to go for the second condition first, that is nothing but the faces and edges near to the observer is clearly visible. Based on that, I am viewing the object from the front view. From the front view, the base edge is clearly visible for me. I am going to complete it now. The base edge. Next, I will go for E dash to D dash. That is one of the base. Again from there to B dash. Again from A dash to B dash. And to the observer, O to B and O to A is clearly visible. O to A and O to B. Next, I will go for the first concept, that is nothing but outermost boundaries are visible. According to it, O dash to F dash, F dash to E dash, next E dash to D dash, D dash to C dash, again C dash to B dash, again to B dash to O dash. And the last condition is below the axis is clearly visible according to O to A, O to B and O to F is clearly visible. The only portion that is invisible to us is slant edges O to E dash, again from O dash to D dash and O dash to C dash. And to get the axis, I will go for drawing the projection line. O1 dash. Now, if I draw a line, it will come exactly in the midway of two slant edges. This is my O1 dash to O dash. This is the final appearance of the object in the last position. In this problem, it is similar to the first problem what I have done in the last class, purely on square pyramid resting on edge condition. When they in the exam or in the test, if they are going to ask the questions on resting on edge condition, no need of finding out the beta angle, because in the second position they will going to ask the inclination with reference to the axis. Again in the last position they will going to ask the inclination with reference to the resting edge. Here the resting edge length will going to remain same if from the first position to the second position, and also that second position object we will going to write it in the last position, the length will not going to change. Because of that we are not finding out the beta angle. When it's come to the purely on axis case, means if the axis is get inclined to both the planes, during that time we need to find out the beta angle, because in the first position the axis length will going to be if they are given 60 mm or 50 mm, it will be 50 mm itself. But when it's come to the second case, the axis length will going to change, because in the second position front view the object is get tilted to the given angle. Based on that, the length is not same for us if from the first position to the second position, due to which we are finding out the beta angle in the last case. That beta angle is nothing but the apparent inclination. By using that apparent inclination we are constructing the last position then we will go for joining the to get the front view and the object view of the final view of the object in the front view. This is all regarding about the hexagonal pyramid problems. In similar fashion, they will going to change the questions. They will going to ask for square pyramid and pentagonal pyramid. Thank you.